Cornelius Gerhardus Van Rooyen, better known as Gert Van Rooyen, was a South African pedophile and serial killer who allegedly abducted at least 6 young girls between 1988 and 1989. On November 3, 1989, 13-year-old Yolanda Wessels, the niece of Van Rooyen's partner Joey Harhoff, was last seen, and since then the police and armchair sleuths have tried to establish what happened to Wessels and the other 5 girls. It has become perhaps South Africa's most famous cold case, and now, an unusual initiative has been launched to put pressure on the police to find the girls. An online petition has called on Police Minister BKC to appoint a new investigating officer to probe the case. We demand that the parents get answers. Many people have fractured information, and it is time that we get an investigating officer who can put these puzzle pieces together and give these aging parents peace of mind, the petition reads. Search for pedophile Gert Van Rooyen's missing victims hones in on Durban detectives probing the enduring mystery of notorious pedophile Gert Van Rooyen's missing victims are honing their search on the Durban area in the hope of cracking open the 30-year-old cold case and bring closure to the families. While much of the investigation over the past 3 decades has concentrated in Pretoria and Johannesburg, where Van Rooyen and his lover and accomplice, Joey Harhoff, spent most of their time, detectives now believe that Durban could hold the key to solving the mystery. Don Chandler, a retired Natal Midlands murder and robbery unit detective who was assigned to investigate the 1989 kidnapping of 12-year-old Fiona Harvey of Pietermaritzburg, one of Van Rooyen's KZN victims, believes that the pedophile may have brought all or most of his victims to Durban. Chandler, who is assisting the Hawks in their investigation on behalf of all the families, said that he had been able to trace Van Rooyen to 2 Durban companies, for which he worked for in the late 80s. He also believes that Van Rooyen and Harhoff may have rented a flat at 101 Victoria Embankment. He says that Van Rooyen worked as a subcontractor for a Pinetown-based company called Dalclump Industries for 4 months between August and December 1989. Chandler believes Van Rooyen's employers are the people he was in touch with during this time, may hold vital clues in solving the case. Tracy Lee Scott Crossley, 14, disappeared on her way to Cresta shopping mall in Randburg in 1988. 2 months later, Fiona Harvey, 12, of Pietermaritzburg, disappeared. On June 7, 1989, Joan Horn, 12, of Pretoria, disappeared. A 16-year-old Durban girl, Jana Delport, escaped the couple's clutches after she was abducted in a mall in July 1989. On September 22, 1989, Kempton Park girls, Odette Boucher, 11, and Anna Mary Wapner, 12, went missing. The saga, which held South Africa captive as fear gripped the nation, came to an end in January 1990, when their final victim, 16-year-old Joan Buisen, escaped from the couple's home in Capital Park and alerted the police. When Van Rooyen discovered Buisen had escaped and the police were closing in him, he shot and killed Harhoff, and then killed himself. Since then the search has focused on finding where Van Rooyen dumped the bodies of his victims. In June 2017, SAP's forensic investigators excavated a number of sites around Blythedale Beach, north of Durban, as it was suspected that the victims were buried there. Now, previously unseen photographs of Harhoff outside Durban's iconic 101 Victoria Embankment block of flats, and Van Rooyen's old company access card for Dalclump in Pinetown, point to the couple spending much of their time in Durban, Chandler said. What is interesting that towards the latter part of 1989, Gert worked for Dalclump. Part of his job was to transport fire door frames from a company in Pretoria, and transport them to Durban, from where they would sometimes be put on a shipping container and sent to Mauritius, he said. Chandler also believes that while the focus has been over the widely publicized 6 missing children, there are other victims, Black and Indian children, who may also have fallen prey to Van Rooyen and Harhoff. There is strong testimony out there that Gert may have kidnapped other children. Back then it was apartheid, and when Black and Indian children went missing, it was not given as much attention as when white children went missing. That is why focusing the investigation in Durban and the companies he worked for there are important. The fact that he had access to shipping containers could even point an element of trafficking, he said. Flippy Van Rooyen, the son of Gert Van Rooyen, has alleged that the girls were killed as part of satanic rituals, and that their bodies had been burned with acid, or that they had been taken to the Middle East. He has also alleged that 3 former National Party ministers were involved in a child smuggling network with his father that involved selling girls for cash. Many people, claiming to have had legitimate information, have come forward, but such information had proven to be negative. Unfortunately, almost always, information, like now, made its way to the media, and this gave the families and the nation false hope. Therefore, it will be appreciated if the media can please allow for police to respond to this from an investigation point of view, as opposed to continuously investigating this matter in the media.